Welcome to Supersize Your Business using the SOAP framework. Step 3 of the SOAP framework today. Using the SOAP framework is a way to automate change, automate dealing with challenges, problems, situations, and stuff that just comes up in our businesses and in our life. Move that a little bit. SOAP framework, the third step is A for action. Like acronyms. I love acronyms. I love words. Words are very important to me. I don't always use the right ones, but they're still important to me. What things mean. I spent a lot of years studying what does things mean, and it's always, well, what do things mean to you? What do things mean to me? Because like everything else, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So is a whole lot of other things and definitions of words, and coming to shared understanding and expectations and knowing what success is to one person versus success is to me is really, really important. But we're not talking about that today. Today we're talking about action and the necessity of taking action in order to create anything that we want. We talked about our story, right, in the SOAP framework with respect to where we are right now and where we want to be. We picked a biggest challenge and we're addressing it by applying the SOAP framework specifically to that challenge. So for me, it's revamp, come up with, and create my personal brand. No small feat, right? If it were easy, I would have done it already. But I analyzed, and I didn't analyze. I brainstormed a lot of options yesterday. I think I got like 16, and then I quit because I was busy with my granddaughters, hanging out with them as another big project unfolds in the family. And of those, I picked 3 to analyze and look more deeply into so I can decide what to take action on today. Now, if you know me, I've already started taking action on this because that's what I do. I run through the SOAP framework on a subconscious level and then immediately start taking steps to fill that gap. But for purposes of the exercise, we want to look at 3 of the options that we came up with yesterday, and we want to apply some kind of tool. Sometimes, and a lot of times, what I found is just the exercise of brainstorming options immediately highlights the action I need to take next, the next right thing I need to do. But sometimes we need to look into it a little further, and so we want to apply one of these tools. And there's lots of tools we can use. We've talked about them. I talk about them all the time interchangeably. Eisenhower matrix, right? Breaking things into whether they're significant, urgent, not significant, and not urgent, and then deciding what we do with them based on that. Sometimes we need to go to that level of detail. Other times, yes, no, plus, minus, pros and cons list. I like to use the simplest tool possible to get the result I want as quickly as possible. That's just me. And so I tend to use the simpler tools. I learned how to do the plus or minus, positive or negative analysis of choices when I was a little girl. My dad taught my sisters and I how to use that so we would be better decision makers. People's inability to make choices and decisions freezes them in their tracks and spoils more dreams or kills more dreams in their lives and their businesses than anything, because they commiserate over making a decision or a choice because they're afraid they're going to lose out if they make the wrong choice. The truth is, if you take action, you go down the wrong road, you just stop, reverse, backtrack a little bit, and then go down the other road. Just like if we're driving to a destination, we don't just keep going in a direction once we know it's the wrong direction for us. We don't keep moving toward an action and implementing an option when we're like, oh my God, this isn't working for me. I need to do something else. Because there's always infinite possibilities of what we can do. And then I shared today for Let's Grow Your Challenge, one of my favorite analysis tools, the urine analysis. I know, terrible name, but a really powerful tool for looking at things, especially things that are subjective, like communicating with my granddaughters. There's some specific things I can do and measure if they're working or not, but there's other things that are super duper subjective. It's like really paying attention to the impact my words and actions and behaviors and mood has on them. Those are subjective, but it requires that I actually pay attention and do that. For the brand, I've got 3 choices that I selected, and I didn't run through the urine analysis yet, but I will today. And it's urgent. Is the thing, I look at the 3 options and I kind of compare them to one another, and then one always rises to the top and says, yeah, this is the one you need to take. Now my gut's telling me I just need to get a coach or an expert to help me do it so I can get it done, and I don't get bogged down or mired in the details, because that's what usually happens. If that isn't what usually happens, I would have already revamped it. I would have done it in 2020 when I first said, it's time for a revamp to my personal brand. Instead, I just kept running forward and never addressed it. And so now I've committed to myself that I shall address it. All right. If I can help you in any way with this, hit me up and ask. Look at your 3 alternatives. Pick one and take some sort of action today. Tony Robbins, I was reminded of today, is probably the person that got this idea and this concept and this habit to sink in for me. Never leave the scene of a decision or a choice without taking some sort of action. Why? Because it cements my commitment to actually following through and creating what it is that I want in my life. And so this is no different. I built it into the SOAP framework so that we take action now, today. If you can do it right now, do it right now. If you can't because you've got other commitments, make sure that you commit to yourself to do it by the end of the day. That's it. That's all I've got today. Love to know what you're thinking of the SOAP framework so far. Is it being helpful or not? I find it extremely helpful, but that's because my brain tends to go in 1,000 different directions. And so I need to put frameworks around things to control some of the chaos that I naturally feel and experience on a daily basis. All right. Have a great day. And I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow. Bye.